What's up? How you doing? I hope you're doing really well. Today on the video, I've got Sam and Lauren. They're joining me today.
Sam,
Lauren.
Just in case you weren't aware. These guys have just 6 months ago.
yeah, around 6
About
months.
6 months ago, bought a house, and they it needed quite a bit of work doing to it, didn't it?
Yeah, a lot.
So they've done that up, and they're kind of in the process of it. So I thought what would be cool is if I just got them on the channel and asked them a few questions just to see how you guys found it. How have you guys found the process to buying a house?
I found it quite, like we went in kind of blind to it. So we knew what we wanted to do, had an idea, but I went in kind of blind. So I think the whole thing around mortgage was quite long, stressful. Just because I think the stress came from just the hassle, because obviously you're chasing people up constantly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think around that, yeah.
And it's getting to near Christmas as well, so it was like things were starting to slow down.
Yeah, it was just, and like gathering information. Like we bought a house really young. We were 20 when we or 21 when we started to apply. So like things like even address history
for 3 years was so hard
trying to get those things together was,
because you guys have probably moved around a little bit.
And nobody tells you to keep that detail. So the detail I didn't think of like there was like
you weren't on
the electoral register to vote, so I wasn't on that.
For 3 years, so that was really hard.
Yeah, that made things difficult because they wanted that history.
Yeah.
So those kind of things really just made it a whole lot longer than it needed to be.
Yeah. Okay. And what was the house like when you first? I mean, I saw it, I know, but for my lovely, beautiful viewer who's watching now, what was the house like? In fact, are you alright to send me some stuff? I'll throw it over to you. I'll pop some video clips of what the house was like. But go on, describe in words what you thought of the house when you got it, or at least when you viewed it for the first time.
There was no words. So it was an old lady who had lived here her whole life, and she had passed away in her 90s, basically. So yeah, it was
dated.
Very dated. Very smelly. We walked in and I was like, right, there's quite a lot to do here.
Yeah, she looked after the property, so this house was looked after. There's no damp.
Like in good condition, and like you say, no damp.
No damp. None of those kind of like issues you kind of look out for.
Yeah.
But more just like she hadn't updated central heating. There was no central heating. Like the electrics was still ancient, so like it was a whole rewire job, stuff like that.
Man. Yeah.
There wasn't even gas in the property, so we had to get that installed first.
So she looked after the property, maintained it, but didn't do any upgrades.
So probably when she bought it, from that till when she passed away, she probably kept it in a really good condition from what it was, but didn't update it along the way.
That's
so it's
exactly
still
and
dated.
it's the late 60s, wasn't it?
Yes, 1967 this property is built.
Yeah. How come you guys chose to? Because we know each other, we're friends, and we've got a lot of other friends as well.
Yeah.
Who you've even said have asked you, how come you've bought a fixer-upper? And it's quite common. A lot of people will love to kind of buy houses that are already done.
Yeah.
They'll pay maximum price for it just so that they don't have the hassle of doing it and fixing it up and doing any work to it. How come you guys chose to find a house where you needed to do quite a bit of work to it?
Yeah, I think both of us are the same, but we strongly believe in investment.
Yeah.
So if we've got a certain amount of money that we can invest into a property, at the time we were renting, so we were throwing away like £500 and something a month. That we were never going to see again. And over like even over a year, that equated to like almost a deposit for a house. So basically we just were like, we want to invest in a property that our money's going into and that we're going to get some kind of return from at the same time. So buying a house that wasn't in a great condition, people would not want to like buy. Like we bought it, and the return on that will be a lot greater. But I think it's just down to investment, really.
You get a lot more for your money as well.
Yeah.
Buying worse, but then improving.
Looking
for a 3-bed semi-detached nicely done up would have been impossible with our budget.
Yeah.
And also, and the flip side as well is we've got to, as well as doing up a house that's going to sell for more, we've also got to make the house our own. So
Yeah, you almost you get to strip it back and go from a blank canvas and make it what you want.
We've chose the details.
All of our interiors.
Like,
where
the
the plug sockets go.
where plugs are. Like the fact that there's a HDMI cable in the wall, and then we've plastered over it, so you can't tell. So the TV's floating on the wall. There's no trunk in. Do you know what I mean? Those that detail, you can't do that if you buy a house. Well, you can, but then you're just spending even more money.
Yeah, because what you've done, the money you're spending on making it your own, is still adding value. Whereas if you've got a house that's maxed out on its value, and then you spend money doing it, making it your own, you're kind of just doing a reshuffle and spending money.
Exactly,
that's not going to make it go up in value.
Yeah, so I mean, we would probably never buy a house that would need that amount of work on, unless it was like the perfect, which then you just. So it's not worth it really.
Yeah. Who's done the most work? Lauren, who would you say?
That's a hard question.
Okay.
I want to say me.
Yeah. But your conscience is saying
you.
Okay. Rather than saying who's done the most, because it is hard because you have different roles. So what would you say? How did you split the roles up? Who did what? Who took charge of what parts?
I'd say Lauren put up with me and I did all the work. No, I think I'm my own boss for a job.
Yeah,
I want to take control, so I think I did a lot of that. Like in terms of sorting the mortgage out, going with those nitty gritty bits, and then in terms of doing up the house, I'd say it's fairly equal. Like Lauren put in a lot of effort to even get the wallpaper off the walls.
Yeah.
It was graft.
That was long.
That took days,
job.
didn't it? I remember that.
But it's also
and Sam
like
hardly touched it.
Yeah, it's also what your like not pain threshold is, but your threshold to how much you can cope with. Because like this was a huge and is a huge job.
Yeah.
That we've done ourselves. We've not had. We've had one
Only
contractor in to plaster.
Yeah.
This whole house is done by us. So I think, what do you think?
Maybe you've done a little bit more. I'll let you have that.
There we go. Finally.
Okay, so just talk me through a little bit about the work that you have done. So I know there was a lot of work that needed to get done. You've touched a little bit on electrics and stuff, but just talk me through like what have you actually done to the house so far?
Okay. So
have we got till next week?
What haven't we done basically? Just every inch of wall and ceiling had wallpaper in this house. So we stripped,
and not the good kind of.
And not the good kind.
No.
Stuff that had been there for years that was incredibly thick and hard to get off.
Yeah.
So that was a start. And then once you've got the wallpaper off, you have to clean the walls because you can't just put paint straight onto it in terms of like the sticky gluey residue from the wallpaper. So that was cleaning the walls and then painting.
Yeah.
Like we said, we had no gas or central heating in the property, so we had gas installed into the property. There was traffic lights on the main road outside our house for a few days, which was fun to do. And got that installed, and then the central heating. What else have we done?
I think you've mentioned the key ones, haven't you? So we've done. I think the main reason why we did the paper, getting rid of the paper off the walls, was to save money. So like we've had in this house, we've had like the kitchen plastered, this living room plastered on the walls, but we try to save costs, being aware of costs and doing this on a budget. Like that saved us so much money by just stripping wallpaper and cleaning walls.
In terms of having to replaster every wall.
Yeah.
We would save thousands.
Like when we go into costs in a bit, the plastering was massive, and we didn't account for the plastering that we even had done.
Yeah.
So, I think So you've just said the gas
rewire. As you said earlier.
Kitchen.
Yeah.
Things that are being done as well.
Stripped out the entire bathroom and replaced that as well.
Yeah, literally. We've redecorated the whole house. The whole house, I'd say, has been back to its bare.
Yeah.
Bare like a lot of it bare brick, and then bare wall, completely stripped basically.
Sanded all the floorboards as well.
Oh yeah,
ripped up all carpets and underlay, and then sanded all the floorboards.
Oh man.
Every single room other than the kitchen.
We've basically done everything to the house.
Yeah.
We've like took it back to its back like template essentially, and started again.
Yeah. And what's the plans in terms of still to what have you got still to do?
Yeah.
What would you like it to be like when it's finished? That kind of thing.
So we still got to.
Oh,
there we go. So in terms of big jobs, so I kind of in my head now we're at the stage where I separate it. So we've got big jobs and things that we need to do. So big jobs will be the kitchen. Kitchen's got to be done.
That's what all the boxes are.
So
in the
we're
background.
currently surrounded by our lovely Howden's kitchen that we're waiting to have fitted.
Installed.
And then out the front we have a porch and a garage. We're taking the porch out and we're going to rebuild that with brick because it's currently just massive PVC window. And then we're also patching up the garage door, putting a new pitched roof on it, and that's going to be then my office
And a window.
and a window and some V-looks and stuff. So that's the biggest part now.
Yeah.
And then because we've had central heating recently fitted, and we've also got the kitchen being done, we've got it separated into, in my head, I've got it like big jobs and small jobs. So kitchen's a big job, the porch that we're doing is a big job, and then small jobs like we haven't got skirting boards on yet because of central heating, and putting drainage in for things in the kitchen and stuff.
And because of COVID.
And COVID. So like Lauren's dad is like done a lot of the work as well. Like he's done up houses, all their houses. So he's got to do the skirting boards and stuff for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like just COVID stopped a lot of the work as well.
Ralph, I'm just going to put you back.
Ralph, come here. We're getting there, Jack.
We'll get there.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just like skating boards. We've got to put a fireplace in. We've got the bits. A lot of it we've got the stuff for. We just need to do. So
yeah,
it's just kind of like there's some tiling to finish in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Little bits that we just need to. If you had a couple of days, you'd get done.
Yeah.
There's just little things like that.
Yeah.
Garage conversion, porch, and kitchen are the next
biggest things.
And they're what are you doing with the garage?
So the garage is going to be an office. / studio. I'm buzzing to get that done. When we bought the house, that was like one of the big things. And so like
your man cave.
Yeah. Cannot wait, mate.
So Sam is a photographer, filmmaker, audio, lighting guy, live events, and all sorts. He does everything. So you're just getting a sick studio to just kit it out for clients, for recording, for everything like that. That would be
and
so
to get
cool.
all of the gear out of my way.
Yeah. At the moment, it's just everywhere in the house.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
We're also replacing some windows. Actually, I forgot to say that as well.
Oh yeah.
Kitchen windows, the next big one before the kitchen gets installed, hopefully. So
with double glazing. Is it double glazed at the moment?
No, so it is double glazed, but it's like really old window.
Yeah.
So and wooden frames.
I mean, it's like completely falling apart, that one. So.
And door replacements as well.
We've got to replace some doors as well.
Okay, so can we get into some numbers? Okay, because I'm sure people who are watching will be interested in the numbers. That's what people wait for. They're like, yeah, I want to see that, but I want to know the numbers. Yeah. The numbers that people will be interested, I think, is, and we can break down the refurb cost a little bit more, but purchase price, what do you buy it for? How much are you going to spend on it? And then what is it going to be worth at the end when you sell it or refinance it or whatever you choose to do?
We bought the house for around 170. I can't actually even remember what the price was. Probably now when we were trying to work it out without getting the stuff out. So it's around 170.
Yeah.
Up until last week when I bought the kitchen, I literally spent 8k on this.
Yeah. Wow.
Doing it up.
And it's literally completely changed, isn't it? For $8,000. Yeah. It's crazy how far you've made that go.
So we've spent $8,000. That includes having a new bathroom. The bathroom is completely, when you look at the photos, completely changed. So yeah.
Building regs as well, which we didn't actually mention earlier.
Yeah. So we had
and
to.
a wall knockdown.
Yeah. So we knocked this. There's a big open gap here, which you probably can see a bit of by Jack. So. That was a kitchen and there was a wall and just a doorway, so we completely open planned the bottom floor. So we had to get building regs to change doors, and then they also ended up getting built. We had to do that. Long term, it's great because we've got a certificate to prove that we got, and it's all fireproof, etc. But
it was another cost we hadn't. Yeah,
it was £700 that we didn't expect to spend.
Yeah, wow.
So when you factor that into the 8,000 that we've spent on this house, we could have probably ended up doing it for a little bit less.
Yeah. And you're saying it cost a lot to do plastering because you did a lot of plastering.
Yeah, plastering was a big spend.
That was about $1.5 grand.
Yeah.
Wow. And you did the whole house.
So
Wow.
he so that's what I mean. Like, so we didn't plaster the whole house. I said earlier, like we only plastered the kitchen, this room, and we didn't do the ceiling, and we did the bathroom, and
Then
those
little patches
yeah,
of the house, but that was the majority of the
that
house,
was
so-
it. And so like that was 1.5K, and like we didn't do the whole house. Can you imagine if it was the whole house?
Yeah, flipping it.
Oh my gosh, like it would have been like a killer to a budget. So so actually to be able to do all of that, including the building regs in 80K is like massive.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah.
And what do you think? Okay, so you've got a few other bits to do. You got the kitchen being fitted soon, in like a few days, which is exciting. And a few other little bits and bobs. But once it's all done, what do you think it's going to be worth once it's all completed?
So in this area, houses go for around 250.
250.
Yeah. So
nice.
so it's
I mean, I've even seen houses on this like probably a few doors down for about 270, 280. So at a push.
Yeah, you could
It's
you could push,
huge.
and I think over time housing market obviously goes up. So
Yeah.
you've got the housing market going up, and then the value you've added to the property.
Yeah.
Like it'll be a significant step up, and we haven't got like loads of money. We're not minted. Do you know what I mean? So like it's just investing into the right. Again, it's like where you put in your money.
Yeah.
And long term, like for us, it was like a short term pain or a long term pain. Short term pain, long term gain. Really,
Yeah.
Like we suffered. There was a lot of stress, a lot of crying, upset, argument.
Exhausted.
We were.
I remember when
exhausted.
you were, especially right at the start, when you needed to get plumbing fitted, electrics and all that stuff. You guys were up doing a full-time job.
Yeah.
Getting up early, doing some work, full-time job, getting home, working till like midnight.
Yeah.
Every evening,
early hours of the morning.
A weekend that was free, we were in this house doing whatever we could.
Yeah, and like it was, and like so, it was painful, but long term, we've set ourselves up now for the future.
Yeah.
And like we've got a somewhere to start. Do you know what I mean? And so like,
it's amazing. So you've done roughly 170 purchase.
Yeah.
You spent 8, but probably in the end, how much are you going to spend once it's all done?
I think
what
max will be 20K.
20, okay.
18 to 20K. Probably.
18 to 20.
We're currently on 12.
Okay. Yeah. So another 8, and there's not too much more to do, is there?
No.
So so you've got 170 plus the 20, so you're 190 in. If you're selling it for 250, and that's conservative because over time the price will go up, and you could probably even get more for it now anyway.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, isn't it? And like I said at the start, so many people buy houses that are already done up because they don't want the hassle. But you guys have had the hassle, and it's gonna be like 80K's worth of hassle.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good, isn't it? That's not
Pretty worth it.
Yeah, it's it's kind of worth it, isn't it? At the end.
Exactly. Like I think even like I forgot to mention, like when we did the house, there was things that came up. So like in our master bedroom above we noticed when we pulled the wallpaper off, there was a crack above the window, and so Steve Lawrence's dad took away that the plaster around it and realised that the concrete lintel above the window, which was holding up the roof, had a crack in it. Now, like anyone who's in construction will know that probably wouldn't have collapsed in at all, or for at least another the time that we'd be in 15 years.
Yeah.
But it is the fact that we saw it.
Yeah.
We decided actually no, we're gonna fix this.
Yeah.
So we ended up we took out a concrete lintel that was, I think it was 2.5 meters.
Wow.
And
Extremely heavy.
There was 5 of us that did it, lifted it out and put in a steel lintel.
Yeah.
That now is done, but cost money. Like I mean, but then at the same time, because we did it ourselves, we saved like at least 600 or 700 quid.
Yeah.
By just paying 140 quid for a steel lintel. Lauren's parents have been massive part of this because like Steve's incredible.
My dad.
Yeah, and they have also got us like a small investment in the house as well. So for them, like we went in, so they get something out of the house as well because they've put a lot of time in. So when we do sell, their percentage will complement that really.
But
as
it
well.
won't really affect us in terms of
No.
like we wouldn't.
We won't lose a lot of money. Like it actually, we like whatever we do with this house, and I mean even when you do yours, like even if somebody invests with you, you know that you're gonna come out on top because you've invested. So whatever you get, you're gonna get a return. So like even if they do a small investment and they have like I don't know like 9-10% of the house, that's only like versus you like 90%. That's a lot of.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You both come off well.
Yeah.
And it's worth time and effort.
Yeah, and it meant that we were able to get onto the property market.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Last question. If you guys had one tip for people watching or for somebody who maybe they are interested in getting into property, maybe they want to buy their own home or they want to buy an investment property, and you've got a tip from your experience of buying and refurbing a house, what would be the tip that you give them?
Location's really important. I think whenever you buy a property, location is something that you need to really take in mind.
Yeah, somewhere that it's going to go up in value, that kind of thing.
Yeah. That it's family friendly because they're the kind of people who you're going to be putting into a property. I mean, for us like this, and then asking for help. If you're on a budget, then asking for help from friends is really key. So like we had loads of friends help get rid of wallpaper.
Yeah, there was lots of evenings where we had people literally like pulling nails out of wood.
Yeah.
Like just jobs that would take a long time, but my dad didn't need to do it in terms of he could do other things, and it was just beneficial. Yeah,
and even more serious things. So like we didn't hold pride in any of it. Like because there was times where even with like the construction side of things, we didn't really know what to do. Yeah. So I had to call friends and say, look, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Can you help?
Yeah.
And even like that, even with Steve, like with the window, it was one of those moments. So not holding your pride when you're doing houses and being like, you've got it all together. If you haven't, then just tell someone and they'll help you. Yeah. So without getting people in who are going to charge you a fortune.
Yeah.
So, surrounding yourself with people who know what they're doing. Yeah. And try and stick to the budget. Don't go over the top. Because like
especially because things will come up that you don't expect.
Yeah.
So maybe even have a budget that has an extra amount that you're saving for things that will come up because something will come up.
Yeah. That's it. Have an overspend. If there's one thing, if there's one thing when we're doing a house up, then that would be have a buffer. Yeah. Because there will be stuff that you need to buy that you didn't expect to buy.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Thank you, Sam and Lauren, for being on the channel. I really appreciate it.
No worries,
for inviting me into your home and moving the sofa around and setting up a studio so that we can
2 meter distance.
That's 2 meter distance so that we can film. I really appreciate it. But guys, I hope you found that really interesting, really helpful. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. Make sure that you smash the like button and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next video.
See you soon.